Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, a show that's by you and in your interest. On the segment tonight, today we're discussing a topic that's not just political, it's personal. It's about what you put on your plate. And can anyone decide on what you can buy and what meat you can eat, or whether you can eat meat at all? Now, multiple civic bodies across Maharashtra like Navi Mumbai, Nagpur, Malegaon, Kalyan, Chhatrapati, Sambhaji Nagar, they have ordered no meat sale on Independence Day, the 15th of August. Authorities claim that this is about maintaining public order but respecting national occasions. And they point to precedent, similar closures during festivals and during national events in the past as well, citing orders way back from the 1980s as well. But the political temperature has shot up sky high. You've got Aditya Thackeray, who says that what we eat on Independence Day is our right, our freedom. He goes on to add that even during Navratri, our prasad has prawns and fish. This is our tradition, this is our Hindutva, says Aditya Thackeray. Now the state government counters it with Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis saying, we have not imposed any new ban. This has been in place for years, even during Uddhav's government, says the current Chief Minister. Political leaders across party lines, including Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, have strongly opposed the ban. He said that if it's religious, then it's fine for a day. But don't make this a rule for every national occasion, a national day, just like the Independence Day. You've got the ruling Shiv Sena MLA, Vishwanath Bhoy, who asks, if one day passes without meat, what's the harm? Ordinary people aren't really complaining about this. Listen in to what the political reactions sound like right now.
ये फैसला कोई इस सरकार ने लिया हुआ नहीं है। 1988 से ये फैसला चला आया है। हमने कोई नया फैसला किया नहीं है। जब उद्धव ठाकरे भी चीफ मिनिस्टर थे तब भी ये फैसला था, अब भी वो फैसला है। हमने कोई नया फैसला लिया नहीं है।
भावनिक मुद्दा असेल तर एक वेळ त्या दिवसापुरती बंदी किंवा आणखी काही काळापुरती बंदी घातली तर लोक एक्सेप्ट करतात, परंतु तुम्ही आता महाराष्ट्र दिनाला 26 जानेवारीला किंवा 15 ऑगस्टला अशी जर बंदी घालायला लागला तर उलट अवघडच आहे।
स्वातंत्र्य दिन पे हम क्या खाएं, हमारा अधिकार है, हमारा स्वातंत्र्य है। वो नहीं हमें बता सकते कि वेज खाएं नॉन वेज खाएं। हम तो बिल्कुल नॉन वेज खाएंगे, हमारे घर में खाते हैं। हमारे घर में नवरात्रि को भी हम हमारा जो प्रसाद होता है उसमें प्रॉन्स होते हैं, मच्छी होती है, क्योंकि ये हमारी परंपरा है, ये हमारा हिंदुत्व है। और वहाँ की जो आगरी कोड़ी बांधे हुए वो कहाँ जाएंगे?
गलत डिसीजन है ये। आज़ादी का दिन है, जिस दिन देश आज़ाद हुआ था उस दिन आप जो है हम क्या खाएंगे क्या नहीं खाएंगे उस पर रोक लगा रहे हैं। गरीब लोग बेचारे थोड़ा मटन लेके होटल चलाते हैं, सड़क पर खोंचा लगा करके कुछ बेचते हैं, भूख लोगों गरीबों को खिलाते हैं। ये सब बंद करके ये जो किया जाए बहुत गलत है ये।
Well, Independence Day, but not for your plate. And here's the reality. Meat bans are not rare in India. In 2015, Meera Bhayandar banned meat during the Paryushan Parv. 2017, Gujarat banned it in parts of the state during the Jain festivals. 2019, UP saw bans during the Kanwad Yatra. And last year, Janmashtami bans in Maharashtra and Hyderabad. These bans have frequently sparked protests, underlining the sensitivities involved in balancing tradition with individual rights. So, do Indians like meat? That's another big question. Well, a data from the National Family Health Survey conducted by the International Institute for Population Sciences reveals that in all states and UTs except for Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and almost Madhya Pradesh, majority of them eat meat. In Maharashtra, over 77% of adults consume meat. In many states, the numbers are even higher. For example, you look at West Bengal, Kerala, the Northeast, it's over 95%. And as Maharashtra prepares for Independence Day, this clash between tradition, between what accounts as personal liberty and political narratives, it highlights a larger debate about what freedom truly means. And come Independence Day, what better topic to talk about? Can someone decide when you can eat meat? Is this about culture? Is this about tradition, respect, or is this just a convenient political gimmick by an opposition that's ignoring the fact that this order has been on the books since 1988 under a Congress government, an erstwhile Congress government? And that finally brings us to the question of the day. Is this outrage, the political sparks that we see over the meat ban, is it an attempt to highlight freedom of choice, or is it going to highlight selective politics? Let's decode all of this right here on In Your Interest. Rajiv Pandey, BJP spokesperson from Maharashtra, with us on the broadcast here. We're also joined by Clyde Crasto, NCP spokesperson, Sharad Chandra Pawar faction, and Jayant Menkar, political analyst, is also with us on the broadcast here. Mr. Pandey, let's start with you. Let's get the ball rolling here. We did want to understand the exact order as well. We've already played out what the politicians are speaking, but just for the benefit of the viewers and so that we lay the semantics right there out on the table, we're trying to link Independence Day with dietary restrictions. At least that's what's coming out in all the political reactions. Are we sort of treading on a path where we're diluting the meaning of Azadi in the first place?
I think this is completely not the point which you are trying to make it. The issue is this order is in place for several years, 1988 onwards. And it's not about that what you can eat on 15th August. It is only, the ban is only on the slaughterhouse and meat shop sale. There's nothing, you can store in your house and you can cook in the morning, afternoon and evening, all the time. This is not on the ban on the sale of fish and other, what Koli Samaj is doing in Maharashtra. So what Aditya Thackeray ji was saying, what they will do, they can sell, they can buy. It is only on two things.
Aditya Thackeray has turned the entire aspect of Hindutva on its head. Says this is our Hindutva, this is our parampara. We like to eat shrimps and prawns and fish as part of our prasad.
Let's not go into that debate. What I am trying to say, first he talked about the Koli Samaj. I think I have responded to that. That is one. Second, it's not about stopping anybody to eat anything. It's about on 15th August, there should be no slaughterhouse should be opened and meat shop.
Okay.
You can buy and keep it next 8 days continuously. Eat like some people eat morning, evening, dopar.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, Mr. Pandey. When liquor bans are in place.
Last line.
Okay.
Last line. You are not allowing me to complete here. You are disturbing my thought process. Your problem, this is the problem nowadays. What I am trying to say, as political opponents have nothing against the government, so they find all these things. I can't say anything. This is much ado about nothing. Exercise in oblivion. Opposition is decimated by the people of Maharashtra, and all these things is done by the municipal corporations. It's not a statewide ban or center has done anything like that. It's about for maintaining, and they have taken decision. So there is nothing wrong, sir.
Okay. No, I understand. Now, with your permission, Mr. Pandey, may I?
Yes,
Firstly,
yes,
Mr. Pandey, I've seen you time and again disturb other people's thought processes, not on this channel or many other channels. That's how discussion happens, sir. That's how discourse happens. I am not from the other party. We're here to talk about it. Secondly, you say that there's nothing new. So does that mean we don't change it at all? Since it's been happening since 1988, so let's continue to go on with it. And help the viewers understand the rationale behind that also. They're talking about public order in that municipal order that has now been put out. You're right, this is done by municipalities, several places in Maharashtra that's now talking about this. We have other guests waiting also, but I just wanted to understand your rationale also as well.
I first of all, I cannot peep into the mind of the corporation. It is the elected body in every corporation, and they have right to decide how the local body should function. What is good for the people? They are elected representatives, sir. They are not selected representative like parties who are having family-oriented parties, son, father, grandson. Let's forget about that. In my opinion, if you ask me, I personally feel on 15th August, if you want to eat meat, you can buy, you can store. For people are in festive mood and they think that why to the slaughterhouse and then somebody is transporting all these things. So that may be the rationale behind this, sir. I cannot peep into the mind of the.
I'm not asking you to slip into the mind, sir. I'm just asking what, according to you, do you think what the rationale behind this order?
I told you, if you
okay,
ask
fair
me,
enough,
sir,
fair enough.
If you ask me, I feel that if somebody wants to eat, he can buy tomorrow evening, and day after tomorrow they can eat easily. Only that about the slaughterhouse and meat shop, they are in festive mood. They don't want. Maybe they were thinking, and even I feel that it is better because on 16th Janmashtami is also there.
You're right.
So it is better not to do this, sir, because people are Govinda Pathaks are there. People are dancing about Lord Krishna. So let's dance with Lord Krishna. That's all.
Okay. No, you're absolutely fine. I do concede it is Janmashtami on the 16th, and when it comes to religious connotations, one has to be more sensitive when you're talking about this. Mr. Jayant Menkar, let me come to you next. What is your opinion on this? People are saying, should even a one-day restriction on sale, not consumption? Again, Mr. Pandey has made a crucial point. This is only on sale. This is not on consumption. I mean, come liquor ban day, don't we all make a beeline to the liquor shops, make sure that we have everything in stock and in place the day before, a dry day. So what's the harm in this occasion? But then critics here saying that this is also a violation of personal liberty on a day like the Independence Day.
Kabir, I was waiting for your liquor statement, which, as you said, don't interrupt me, and just now you said thanks for that particular sentence. Why beelining in front of liquor shops? I have seen. Are you listening to me, my voice? Yes.
Yeah, we're getting you. We're getting loud and clear. Please go on.
Yeah. I have seen that in Gujarat, a station is having one platform in Maharashtra, another platform in Gujarat. So people are coming to Maharashtra, having their liquor and going to Gujarat after completing their quota. And when Gujarat is a dry state, and again, Mr. Pandey will definitely say the liquor is banned in Gujarat since Congress days.
Let's not mix this up. That was just an example, Mr. Menkar. Let's not mix this up. Get to your point, please. Get to your point.
I am here. So when it came to meat ban, they went to 1988. Particularly in 1988, there was Sharad Pawar. So obviously, when Ajit Pawar is saying no, they are saying, okay, please see your uncle's order. I am here to say you may want to include liquor also, or that is not a question. We need to review really the word independence. Then we are independent. What should be in my plate? On which day it should be in my plate? Should I bring it and store? That's what Mr. Pandey is asking. What about the poor who are not having free and whatever, or who are not having that much money? He is not answering. But he is what should be in my plate? Paryushan Parva. Mira Bhayandar again said it was earlier. Christ again passed the order, again it was earlier. My question is this: we need really to review all this. We understand.
You know what, Mr. Menkar, I'm going to have to cut you short here. My apologies. We're going to fix your audio because we can't understand what your question is. I'm going to ask the control room to fix that up very quickly. Also with us on the broadcast is Mr. Rana, Sanjay Rana, political analyst. He's with us on the broadcast. Mr. Rana, let's bring you in on this one. We're talking about the specifics of the order. And Mr. Pandey, I'm again mentioning, has made that point that this is not about, eating. This is not about dietary restrictions. This is about the sale of meat that has been banned. Now, the ban is on sale, it's not on eating, but let's look at the symbolism as well. Doesn't that make the restriction more symbolic than actually effective? Of course, there is Janmashtami on the 16th, but wait a minute, before we move on, what's your opening comment? You'll have to unmute yourself, Mr. Rana, please.
Sorry, good evening, Kabir, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, need to understand what is law is all about. When we talk about the fundamental rights, nothing, all the articles, whatever the articles are, there is not absolutely. We need to understand, we should not hide behind the article, number one. Number two, we need to look at what is there, what is not there. If we're talking about the ban, is a ban on the slaughterhouses and selling of meat, not on consumption. And the similar thing is happening in liquor as well. So why we are not shouting for the liquor? We are not doing it. We are going and buying if we want to have.
Sir, liquor, I'm again mentioning this here for the benefit of the viewers also. Let's not mix this with liquor because liquor comes in the part of the state, directive principles of state policy. The court has implemented some of those things. The constitution expects citizens to live a certain way. So liquor is part of that. But you're again right. Come dry day, we all make sure our stocks are full and final, which is what the BJP representative is also saying.
We need to understand what is a fundamental right is all about. When you talk about the fundamental right of eating, the fundamental right of drinking is my right as well. You cannot cannot say that I have a right to eat it and I don't have a right to drink it. Drink could be anything, any form, anything. So we need to understand what is the right and how is going to work it out. And please, all the government has a right to implement or execute the law as per the requirement. And here the requirement, looking at the Janmashtami which is coming up, they are trying to ban it. And no one is, I don't think so. People should make a noise for the same, for this small issue. If you want to have it, you are free to eat it. You go and buy and keep it in the fridge and make it the next day. And most of the people, whether it's Mumbai, whether it's metro cities I'm talking about, most of the guys, you and I, are buying and freezing, and obviously we are taking in our fridge. We are not going to shop and asking them to cut it and then taking back.
Okay.
Phenomena has been changed, so we need to look at how we have to do the politics. Is okay, but just targeting and pinpointing, which is not looking good. It was implemented long back. I'm not going to quote the 1988. It was implemented by the Congress government and by the Shiv Sena. I'm talking about Uddhav Shiv Sena, and now these guys are creeping and saying my fundamental right is this, which is very surprising. First of all, we need to understand what is the right and how it is going to execute it, and what is your duties. So right and duties should be implemented parallelly.
Okay.
It cannot be my right and my duties are not going
Operative part of this comment, and you can count me out if I'm wrong here, is that nobody should hide behind these fundamental rights, because these are not absolute. These are not absolute in nature. I can see Mr. Clyde Crasto is with us, NCP spokesperson. He is with us. But I'm going to quickly go back to Mr. Pandey, follow the pattern that we have been following here. Mr. Pandey, let's talk about the specifics of the order and the rationale that you were talking about as well. Every time I hear the argument that this is nothing new, it was back in 1988, it's been happening since then, that doesn't mean that rationale and prudent rationale cannot change what we expect in the future. If something's going on since 1988, why? I mean, we can change it also. We have the wherewithal to change it. But again, coming back to the rationale of this public order, do you think the rationale is prudent here? Because I'm constantly seeing visuals of packaged meat in supermarkets also. So, गरीब की दुकान बंद हो गई है, लेकिन सुपरमार्केट में पैकेज्ड मीट मिलेगा फिर भी.
First of all, good evening, Clyde. After a long time, I am seeing him on your channel.
Well, great bonhomie between NCP and the BJP. That's
Yes,
great
yes.
to see here. This is also in your interest, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Pandey, your answer.
We are friends, sir. What I'm trying to say, you are asking if for poor people are not able to sell meat and all that. What is my suggestion? I think on the very first comment after that, your whole debate is going on that it's not a dietary restrictions. It's about only maybe that Mahanagar Palika, that corporation is thinking that on that day, I don't want the slaughter should take place, so that there will be some, disposable things, and you are transporting those things. You know how these things happen. In slaughterhouse, you will find that a lot of waste material is going out, coming in. That may be the reason behind this. Sir, you understand? What is whole issue is that opposition party is so desperate. You understand why this debate is going on? This debate is going on, sir, because opposition party is so desperate. They are issueless, they are jobless. So they want, okay, this has happened, now this is happening in 1988. And what my friend Rana Sahab has said, that fundamental rights can be put to the reasonable restrictions. Now that mayor thinks if for 2 days, 15th and 16th Janmashtami, there should be no opening of the slaughterhouse, so that there will be no things which will be transported, and meat shop should be banned. If you want to eat meat, you can very well keep it in your fridge or anywhere. The larger question is, sir, which you have to understand, and my friend will have to respond, that you have become so jobless that you are talking about all these things.
But sir, if I may, and Mr. Pandey, not to disturb your train of thought again here, I just want to tell you that Ajit Pawar himself today said the same. I mean, isn't he part of the ruling dispensation? He also says, Maharashtra Day, Labor Day, keep national days out of it. And the comment that you've made, maybe somebody out there would be able to digest it on Janmashtami, on the 16th of January, on the 16th of August, but maybe not on the 15th of August so much. But your question, we've understood your question. Let's invite Mr. Crasto here so that he can respond to that. Clyde, what does the NCP Sharad Chandra Pawar faction have to say? The BJP says, is the opposition so jobless? This debate should not even be happening.
Good evening to everybody, and I'd like to say hi to Rajiv. Also, been a long time. I think we not managed to come across each other for a long time. So, hi, Rajiv. The
Is
fact
this
of the
going to get
matter is,
fiery
I
now?
think
Is this going to get
hearing
fiery?
Rajiv
Should
saying
we
that
tell the
we are
control room
desperate and the
to
opposition
make
is
some more
desperate and
space?
therefore we are talking. Let me tell you one thing.
Okay.
The Bharatiya Janata Party and some of its allies are actually getting desperate because they've realized that, this whole thing about Marathi and Hindi issue that was going on, language in schools and how to teach children at an early age, they've realized that the Marathi speaking population is going to go against them. So now they're trying to woo the other section so that they can get their vote bank politics going in a complete clear manner. Therefore, they are trying to woo the other section to get their votes. And I'll give you an example, and please don't cut me when I'm talking about this. What happened to the whole pigeon feeding issue? If they were so serious about the pigeon feeding issue, they should have looked at other aspects and how to get that thing going. It is affecting certain section of the people in Dadar, and there are certain community they want to please. The same way they are trying to please certain community, and therefore they have this meat ban thing going. So there's no desperation of the opposition. The desperation comes from the Bharatiya Janata Party because they know they're going to lose their votes in a certain section. They're trying to consolidate somewhere else. And please don't go by the name. I'm sure that somebody will come up and say, oh, Clyde Crasto, what would he understand? Let me tell you one thing, for Rajiv also knows it, and some people know that I'm also a Vaishnav. And I know what it is about non-veg, veg and everything, and I know what religion is all about. So therefore, if the Bharatiya Janata Party thinks that they can fool the people by saying that they are actually trying to, set a precedent or set an example and they're going to throw the rule book at us, this is nothing but vote bank politics. And also, I'd like to tell you, if Mr. Devendra Fadnavis is saying that, I'm trying to, follow the rules and regulations, this is the same people who at their convenience keep changing laws. They keep saying that we will wipe the slate clean and start everything again. So why should I want to eat somebody, what somebody says, or why should I do what somebody else has to say? Fundamental rights are there. Somebody was arguing about fundamental rights, but fundamental rights are very important.
But they're not absolute. Mr. Rana here says that they're not absolute. One should not hide behind fundamental rights, is what Mr. Rana says. But before we move on, Rana, Mr. Pandey, I'm going to come back to you. Absolutely. Mr. Pandey, we're going to come to you. Rasto, please complete your thoughts. Yeah.
Fundamental rights, it is a right, so nobody's hiding behind fundamental rights. People
I'll
here
give the answer
are
to the
hiding
same.
behind certain rules and regulations to suit their own thing. Now, Mr. Ajit Pawar, who's the ally, himself is saying that this is not right. So why don't
Exactly,
you
that was my point.
Kabir, just get 30 seconds.
Kabir, I want to answer because he's talking about
Only
the
one
fundamental.
question, only one
No,
line,
Mr.
sir.
Rana, we're going to come to you, and Mr. Pandey, we're going to come to you as well. We're going to be doing great disservice to
one
Mr.
question,
Menkar.
one
He's
line.
also with us. Mr. Menkar is also with us. Let's bring in the political analyst. And on the other side, we're going to go to Mr. Pandey and Mr. Rana. You both get a voice before we wrap this up. Mr. Menkar, what are you making of this political brinkmanship that's coming? And mind you, we're talking about meat. It is a personal issue on the ground as well.
There is again the same thing, the freedom. So what should be in my plate? It's my freedom. When I should purchase, again it's my freedom. If in the past some rules are made on nearly 37 years before or nearly 40 years before, some wrong rules are made, we can change depending on present situation, depending as we used to write on slate. Now we are having these mobiles, and I'm sitting at home and talking to you. There was no this technology 4 decades before. We are using this technology. It is essential that we should change these rules. And I accept what Clive said. Yes, BJP always uses and tries to hide behind such sensitive religious issues so that again they can garner what also he said is correct. Because they are losing the Marathi votes, they can give some quota of votes that will try to bring them a bit up.
Okay. Let's bring in
elections.
Mr. Pandey. Let Mr. Pandey answer that. And Mr. Rana, we're going to come to you. Don't worry. Rajiv Pandey.
What political analyst Saab has just said, something is decided in 40 years back. What I am saying is still the people in the corporation think that there is a rationale behind that order. Though that order was brought by Clyde's party, and today he has become holier than thou. His party brought that in 1988, and today he is talking, he has become, oh my God, this order is bad. What I am trying to say, this is much ado about nothing. And what Clyde said about the issue, opposition party is trying to create issues. Let them create. And Kabutar Khana issue is a High Court directed action. We can't do anything. High Court has asked, and some people have gone to Supreme Court. What I'm trying to tell you, sir, Clyde sir, your party brought in 1988. You were in power. You brought this
What
order.
about Palitana?
And now you
What
are
about
talking-
pollution?
Okay. All right. Clyde, we're going to give you a quick rejoinder later. Mr. Rana, please complete your thoughts. We're losing out time. Brevity, please exercise brevity.
Kabir, I want to clarify the couple of points. Clyde was saying that fundamental right. Did anyone is stopping you to eat, not to eat meat? No one is stopping you. You can go and buy it and eat it. You want to drink and you can buy it tomorrow and you can eat, drink it. No harm as such. When you talk about the political parties are doing and appeasing some section, which is very surprising. Are we not appeasing some other section of the voter? So appeasement is a part of the politics, and both the parties are doing the politics. You are doing appeasing someone else; they are appeasing someone else. But please understand, there is a very thin line between two things which we need to understand. If government feel like, if the government think is going to, this rule should be implemented, the government is implementing. We cannot question mark on the implementation of any rule. Number 3, when Mr. Mayank was saying, Purane zamane ka kuch hua tha, so I'll just give him a reminder. Mr. Nehru banned harmonium. I have a fundamental right to sing a song on the harmonium. Why he banned it? Because it was not violating my fundamental right. So what nonsense people we are talking over here?
This is what I'm talking about, sir. This is what I'm talking about, sir. This is what I'm talking about. Across the board, there are some pertinent points that have come across. This is on the sale. This is not on dietary restrictions.
Yes.
But then again, sale. The problem is that if you can convince me that public order will go out of the window, maybe I'll not go to the meat shop and I'll stand behind the municipality saying that no, okay, these slaughterhouses and these meat shops should not open on a said day to respect a religious sentiment or to respect a national sentiment as well. But nowhere has their convincing argument come why public order has to be taken into account when something like this happens, especially on a day called Independence Day. Maybe Janmashtami, we would have been able to do something like that. But we've completely run out of time here. I'm going to again thank my guests, Mr. Rajiv Pandey, BJP spokesperson, Clyde Crasto, representing the NCP, Sharad Chandra Pawar faction, Jayant Menkar, and Sanjay Rana, who's a political analyst. Well, we're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here. That's all the time we have for you in your interest, but we've got some visuals coming in. These are breaking developments. A flash flood that has been reported from Shimla. Visuals on your screens. We're going to continue to decode with what the SDRF and the NDRF are doing in terms of the damage to public and private infrastructure with what just happened in Dharali in Uttarakhand just a couple of days back. Well, the wounds are still fresh and we're looking at another flash flood. This is climate change and climate crisis at its perilous worst. This is coming right on the other side. Keep it with News 9. Many thanks for watching In Your Interest.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Dyna Premium Beauty Soap. पहली झलक करे खूबसूरत
मुझसे नहीं हो गया। उनको देख रहे हो? क्या संगीत तक ये स्टेप सीख पाएंगे? ये खूबसूरत चिंता आप करिए। शादी के पर्सनल लोन की चिंता हम संभाल लेंगे। With EMI starting at 94 rupees per day and tenure up to 7 years.
Chandigarh, Coimbatore, NCR and Bangalore, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Raipur and Hyderabad. We've been here, we've been there. Veka's been just everywhere.
मारो गाँव कांठा पर जहाँ सोनेरी है दिन रातें, जहाँ खुशियाँ करती बातें, मारे गाँव छाई दूध से हरियाली, मारे गाँव छाई दूध से हरियाली। बायो गैस है कमाल, गोबर धन से खिले जहाँ, फैली घर घर में मुस्कान,
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
The monsoon fury has gripped the nation. Just a couple of days after that Dharali cloudburst and flash flood episode that we saw from Uttarakhand, we're getting latest updates from Shimla, a flash flood that has taken over that particular town as well. Just a week after Himachal Pradesh reeled from the Kheer-Ganga cloudburst that I just mentioned, another series of cloudbursts have hit the state. This is in Nanti, Rampur. A separate cloudburst swelled the Ganvi River, forcing evacuations in adjoining and nearby areas. We're learning of Srikhand Mahadev in the Kullu district that was struck, triggering flooding in the Kurpan stream at Jauinani. Ganvi and Rampur in Shimla district. It also reported flooding from the same hefty rains. Visuals on your screens. Rivers in spate, streams in spate, flash floods running at high velocity, coming downstream with sludge, with debris, with mud. Dangerous scenes and pictures that were beaming from Shimla. The region is on high alert. Residents, needless to say, gripped by fear. But so far, no reports of casualty or property loss that has been reported officially. Visuals on your screens. This is in Kullu in Himachal Pradesh. Srikhand Mahadev is where the cloudburst actually took place. Dangerous scenes that we're getting from Shimla in Himachal Pradesh, cloudburst in Kullu. As the monsoon fury continues in Himachal, more rain is also expected. At least that's what the Met Department and those updates tell us. No casualties have been reported. No loss of public or private property has been reported. But a cloudburst and flash floods that we're learning of right now. This is Srikhand Mahadev, where one cloudburst has happened. And of course, in the Shimla district, in Nanti, this is in Rampur, where a separate cloudburst incident has happened. Mohit Malhotra, my colleague, joining us on the broadcast with the latest details. Mohit, दर्शकों की किस प्रकार से सहायता कर सकते हैं? क्लाउडबर्स्ट की अगर बात की जाए तो कितनी रेनफॉल की हुई, कहां से किस प्रकार की रिपोर्ट आ रही है? क्या एसडीआरएफ, एनडीआरएफ की टीमें तैनात हैं? क्या कुछ बता सकते हैं इस समय?
देखिए, हिमाचल प्रदेश में पहले से ही एनडीआरएफ और एसडीआरएफ को जो रेनी सीजन आता है उसमें अलर्ट पर रख दिया जाता है। और ये जो इंसिडेंट हुआ है, जो विजुअल्स अभी हम अपने व्यूअर्स को दिखा रहे हैं, ये शिमला के ऊपर काफी ऊपर पहाड़ी इलाका है, रामपुर बुशर। वहां पर एक बरसाती नाला है जिसको गानवी रिवर वहां पर कहा जाता है। उसके अंदर अचानक से क्लाउड बर्स्ट की घटना के बाद काफी तेज वहां पर मलबा आया और काफी तेज बहाव जो विजुअल्स में आप देख रहे हैं। तो अब तक की जानकारी के मुताबिक कोई वहां पर कोई व्यक्ति मिसिंग हुआ हो, ऐसी कोई जानकारी तो अब तक जो लोकल्स हैं उन्होंने नहीं दी है। लेकिन वहां पर कुछ घरों को, दुकानों को, जो ब्रिजेस होते हैं जो गांवों को जोड़ते हैं हिली एरिया में एक दूसरे के साथ, वो जो ब्रिज हैं वो बह गए हैं। इसके अलावा एक पुलिस पोस्ट थी, वो भी इस मलबे के अंदर पूरी तरह से खत्म हो चुकी है। कुछ शॉप्स को और घरों को नुकसान हुआ है। लेकिन अब तक जो लोकल्स हैं उनका ये कहना है कि वहां पर आसपास के लोग अलर्ट हो गए थे पहले से ही, इसी वजह से अब तक किसी के इस मलबे की चपेट में आने के या फिर मिसिंग होने की जानकारी अब तक सामने नहीं आई है।
That's a real positive development. मोहित, हम साथ ही साथ ये कुछ तस्वीरें देख रहे हैं, सारी तस्वीरें बहुत भयानक पेश होती हैं सामने टीवी पर, लेकिन क्या अब तक किसी भी बचाव अभियान की स्थिति बन रही है, कोई रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन जिसके बारे में कोई ऑफिशियल कंफर्मेशन मिल सके?
देखिए, पूरा का पूरा जो इलाका है, शिमला डिस्ट्रिक्ट तो शिमला पड़ता है, लेकिन शिमला से काफी ऊपर है, काफी दूर हिली एरिया है, यहाँ तक जाना भी काफी एक तरह से चैलेंज होता है। तो यहाँ पर अभी जो लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है वो अपनी तरफ से जो भी कर सकता था, वहां पर लोगों को सबसे पहले निकालना था और अलर्ट करना था। उनके लिए कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव वहां पर व्यवस्था की गई है, कुछ स्कूल्स वगैरह में उनके रुकने का अरेंजमेंट किया गया है, तो वो सब किया गया है। और उसके बाद जो एक प्रोटोकॉल है कि क्लाउड बस्ट के इंसिडेंट के बाद जिस तरह से पूरा का पूरा एक रेस्क्यू और सर्च ड्राइव वहां पे चलाया जाता है, वो कल जैसे ही दिन निकलेगा पूरा किया जाएगा, क्योंकि अभी वहां पर लगातार रुक रुक कर बारिश हो रही है।
All right, Mohit, we're going to keep coming back to you as and when you have more for us. We're going to let you off the hook, try to get us more developments at this point in time. But we're also joined by Mr. Vimlendu Jha, environmental activist. Many thanks for speaking to us, Mr. Jha. How do you look at these developments just a couple of days after what we saw in Dharali? You were speaking to News 9 as well. Now, separate cloudburst episodes that we're learning of in Shimla, in Himachal Pradesh. What is Mother Nature really trying to tell us?
So I think, it's a clear sign that we have actually been taking these climate events very, very lightly as a country, as a policy, as governance, as action on ground. Repeatedly for the last several years, we've seen more and more, in the sense in terms of frequent as well as intense climate events that have been taking place. And of course, it's been happening throughout the country, but more so in the vulnerable ecological space called the Himalayas. And this year itself, we've seen more than 200 people have lost their lives in Himachal, and then of course we don't know how many people have actually died in Harsil, in Dharali, in that sense. So it clearly talks about that climate change is not just an academic discourse, it's something which is very, very real, and India is at the forefront in terms of facing the brunt of it, and mostly the hilly areas are the ones that's actually, because of these extreme events, be it cloud bursts that we're talking about today, or flash floods for that matter, or glacial lake outbursts, or the leaks that we're talking about, overflows that we're talking about. So, it's really, really scary and something that the government should really take it very seriously. We need to really look at immediate response. We need to really have a system in place for immediate response. But at the same time, in long term, when we are aware that next year and year after, there'll be more and more frequent and intense climate events, what's the plan? What is the preparation? What is the village level or perhaps district level, state level, or for that matter, the entire region level climate mitigation plan that we have? As of now, we don't have any plan, and that's the reason why we actually have so many events, so many accidents, so many disasters, and all of them, of course, we're looking at the disaster or the impact of these cloudbursts also gets accentuated or gets multifold primarily because of the construction, urbanization, or the kind of development that we have followed in these hilly areas in the Himalayas.
You know what, Mr. Jha, you very nicely summed it all up. But it takes me back to about 5 years back when words like glacial lake outbursts weren't as common. Are we looking at a future where GLOFs is going to be a common terminology, Himalayan horrors happening one after the other, and these are clear signs and signals and messages? The high-powered committee and its recommendations were clearly not paid actual attention and heed towards. Is it time for us to now look at policy reform to start things from tomorrow?